In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful. This story that I am about to tell you is about Prophet Uzair, when he passed by a town which was completely destroyed and the houses were upside down. In the Quran, the God says, "Did you look at the example of that person?" The narration says that the person was Prophet Uzair. He passed by a town that was completely destroyed and the houses were upside down. Prophet Uzair was sure that one day the Lord will resurrect dead people, as he was a prophet. Though he believed in the God's word, but he was a bit paranoid due to the fact that he was a human being, and as a human it is possible to have curiosity about something which is beyond human imagination. He was not having any sort of doubt, because if one doubts the God's word, then that person is no longer a believer. So he was just curious to know that, how will the God resurrect dead? To show Prophet Uzair his power, the God caused him to die for 100 years. Then the God gave him life after 100 years and asked him, "For how long have you been sleeping here?" He replied, "I slept here for a day, or a part of a day." This was because when a person is in a state of deep sleep, it is difficult to keep a track of time. The God said, "You have stayed here for 100 years. Look at your food and water. It is still fresh. And look at your donkey. It was dead and even the bones were rotten." The God said, "The reason I am doing this is to make you an example for the mankind." Meaning, you will go to the people and tell them what you have personally experienced. That will increase their faith. Look at the bones of the donkey. I will gather them and cover them with the flesh, just like before. And so, it was alive again. When Prophet Uzair witnessed that, even a bit of a curiosity was not there anymore. He said, "I believe that my Lord has control over everything." The God shows his power to the prophets, that is called a miracle. And when he shows to the pious people, other than the prophets, that is called karamat. Both, the miracles and karamats, are from the God to increase the faith of the believers. Even nowadays numerous pious people experience the karamats. The God shows his power to make people understand that he is not bound by logics and science in order to do the things. He does whatever he wants. So in this story, the God tells us that how the Prophet Uzair was having this thought in his heart, and how the God showed him his power to make this thought go away. This means the pious people can be paranoid sometimes, and the God helps them to get out of it. Keep in mind that to doubt the God's word is blasphemy. And to be paranoid of something is not blasphemy. To be paranoid is a state when a person does not try to find any logic behind the thoughts. Sometimes these negative thoughts are by Satan. It is normal to have negative thoughts about Islam, and people get worried to be in such a state of mind. Basically, to get worried on these negative thoughts is a proof that you are a truth believer in God. Otherwise, you would have been happy. That is why we should not focus on these negative thoughts. The God is there to help us out of them, just like he did for Prophet Uzair. In this story, the God showed numerous powers. The donkey was completely rotten in 100 years, but the food and water was fresh. The God showed his ableness to preserve the things for thousands of years or destroy them, just like he did to the donkey. And his ableness to reverse the process of birth, after the living things are dead and turned into a rubble, or dust, and make them alive again. And he can give death to someone for 100 years, without even a person knowing it, and keeping the track of time. Basically, the God is able to do everything. And in this story we learn that the God can instantly give life to dead people, just as he gave life to the donkey at once. So at the time of day of resurrection, the Lord will do the same. And he will show the disbelievers that he who can give life the first time, can give the life second time. May the God guide all of us to the straight path, just like he did to his prophets. Ameen.